New Zealand Warriors almost get it done against the bloody Melbourne Storm, only to have the game snatched out from underneath us in the last play of the game. Let's take a look how this played out. As you can see by my surroundings, I'm not at home. I'm over here in Tokyo in a shitty little hotel room. Had a pretty long day today with work, even though it's Sunday. So I'm going to keep this one short and brief. I haven't had time to go through all the stats and the like, but I wanted to share my thoughts. Because there's been a lot of mixed reaction to this. Obviously, it's so gut-wrenching last night. I was so pissed off. I literally turned the freaking iPad off the minute Coates got that ball down. I just couldn't even look at their reactions. I was so pissed off. I could feel it coming. As soon as they got that second to last try, it just had that feeling of like a Maroons comeback against the friggin' Blues. Anyway, 30-26, 15 odd minutes in there, we probably thought we were going to be on the back of a 40-point hiding. So full credit to our team to come back into it and get to the point where it did come down to the last play of the game. Watching it live, I felt like they dominated us in the first half. I just felt like we weren't even in it. Watching it live, but I'm glad I went back and watched it again this afternoon, because in reality, we actually competed for the whole of the first half. The first try from them was really well constructed. They got a few piggybacks. The SJ inside the 10 penalty, I went back and watched that one in slow-mo, and that was complete bullshit. There was a line on the ground which was on the 10 metres back from where the guys were in the play, and he wasn't even in the picture. Little things like that I think cost us, and I'm not blaming the refs that they were biased towards us. I just think they were incompetent at times. Marcelo Montoya's first try goes up a try. There wasn't enough clear evidence to prove that ball didn't brush the ground. Shit, I don't know. But what I will say, look, they didn't dominate us as much as it felt like watching us live or watching it live. Their tries were very well constructed, other than the meaty one. Well constructed tries. That play where the back rower taps it back inside to Pappenhausen at full speed, no one defends that, I don't think. We're going to have a real think about how we go about stopping that for future endeavours against them. That was such a clinical little try, done on both sides of the field. That last try of theirs was outstanding. That said, so often when we got into position to score, we nailed our opportunities this week. So I think other than a few brain explosions, 7 errors I think in the first half there, just the 2 I think in the second half, we were in it. Our tries were well constructed, they were clinical, and we put 4 tries on a team that didn't let a point in from the defending champions last week. So there's plenty to like about it, but it pisses me off that if we're genuine top 4 contenders, we should have closed that game out. Didn't. I'm not going to call out individuals. Like a few people are going on about certain players who didn't do this or did this wrong or whatever. I think there were about 7 or 8 players that at some stage during the game had a brain fart, either caused an error, had an error. A few people might have seen that I posted on TikTok and Insta the Nick Meaney try. Although you can be critical of the 3 guys in the tackle not controlling the ball and Pappenhausen getting it away there, but he does that all the time, slow little bastard. But AFB turned his back to that play and jogged back into line with his back completely to the play. As soon as that ball popped out, Hughes identified that, managed to find the space that created between Capewell and Tohu, and they were gone. That's a fundamental error for me that we've had happen 3 times so far this season, including the trials, where we've seen balls hit people in the face because they weren't watching, or a hooker not be ready to get the ball at the play of the ball when it's played and they're looking in the opposite direction. So it's fundamentals. We've got to keep bloody eyes on the footy. And that same play where AFB got caught with his back to it, you saw RTS bouncing back with his whole body facing the play of the ball. You just never take your eyes off it. And I constantly drill that into my kids. Things like that I really think we need to tidy up on if we're genuine contenders. But we didn't have Marata Niakorea, we didn't have CNK, we didn't have Egan, we didn't have Jazz. A lot of quality players not there. You might argue that Jazz didn't deserve to be there. But still, they had Munster and Nas, who's not even considered an option at the moment, missing. So they were pretty much full strength. We were below strength, and we did everything but beat them. Players I'd like to commend Tuaupiki. A lot of people calling for him to not be at the back, even me. I thought it would have been a good idea to have RTS there just for this one. But Tuaupiki stood up. His ability to take that ball, he runs with heart. 180 metres again there. His defence, a couple of times there I felt like he was caught behind the ruck a little bit there, and if he got a little bit wider he may be able to impact a couple of their tries, but shit, overall I thought he went really well. Freddie Lussick re-signed again today for 2 years. Good on him. People still complaining about him, but I think they get so excited comparing young players like Freddie in a position like hooker to someone like Egan, who's a seasoned professional now, forgetting that he got so much shit for his first 2 or 3 seasons. Everyone's saying that he wasn't good enough to take us to the finals. And he proved us wrong because the coaches gave him time. So I think there's similar things with Freddie. He's got a lot to like about him. His defense is strong. His passes improved. Full credit to him for really getting the forwards on the front foot last night. He was passing a lot flatter. He was taking a couple of steps towards the line to create a little bit of deception. Still not in Egan's class, but give him a couple more years. He could be the guy we want. Otherwise, it would cost us a fortune to go and recruit someone who's world class to replace Egan when he eventually leaves or maybe succumbs to these injuries. So get behind the young fella there. I thought Rocco Berry, I'll continue to toot his horn. I thought he was outstanding last night. His efforts on defence, I just love that way he cuts people down with those legs tackles. That tap onto Dallin for the try. The commentators gave SJ a lot of credit for that one, but I thought Rocco was outstanding there. I thought Dallin was outstanding. The effort areas from him. I thought Luke Metcalf is starting to play a little bit more than himself. He's not trying to do too much himself, but he's struggling to unlock Roger. And we saw when Roger finally got a little bit of space, that line break he got down the left-hand edge there and passed it inside to Jackson that eventually led to a try. Just show what he can do with a bit of space, and I think Luke's struggled to kind of put him in a lot of space over the first couple of weeks here. And RTS, I think his step, it doesn't make as much impact when you've got a flat line right in front of you and you've got a defender in front and in your opposite centre, but then you've got a edge back rower inside there and a wing outside. But when you get him a bit of space, shit, he's devastating. So I'd like to try and see how Metcalf can get him a bit more space and unlock him a little bit more. Montoya there, and my heart got 2 tries last night, so great to see us scoring down that side now. Great to see us be able to put those 2 lead runners through that got us so many tries on the right side last year. We were able to do that on the left as well. So plenty to like there. I think SJ's an interesting one for me. You see Jerome Hughes, just electric, that speed. He just stood out in the game in the big moments. And SJ didn't really have any of those real, individual breaks or runs, but his, some of the hits he put on defense, the kicks he put on the right spot, putting the passes right on the right spot there to the right person at the right time to set up tries. He was clinical, so I think he was actually a lot better than last week, and he'll continue to build. And it's just hard not to expect him to be making those big breaks like Hughes made. It's not his game anymore. So, yeah, I'm really proud of his effort. I thought overall our 4-pack was pretty good. I felt like Tohu struggled to get in the game a little bit in the first 20 minutes. He got caught flat-footed a couple of times. His combination with Lussick in defence, they let a couple through. But once he got going, he stepped up again. But I still would like to see him talking to the boys more. Talks well to the ref, but a couple of times there, it's just not clear to me who that the main person is who should be giving them the conversation. That Webby obviously gave them at half time to get them to cut out those silly errors. Someone should be able to do that on the field in real time. Still a bit of a bugbear for me, so we shall see. Who else stood out there? I think other than that, they all played pretty well. Bunty serviceable off the bench. I thought Dylan Walker, other than those 2 silly passes, he had a huge impact. Just his speed and acceleration into the line really gets the opposition on the back foot. And I missed that 1-2 punch with Jazz. I know he had a bit of a rough game in the trials there, but that speed that he shows and his ability to follow Dylan Walker, I think that gets us momentum. And, if Jazz can just get a sniff back in there, to have Dylan, Jazz, and Maratani Akoria once he's back in there as a 1-2-3 fast-running, high-impact bench, I think it would have a lot of impact there. I thought of the two of them, I like Bunty's serviceable. He did a good job. I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to have him as their third or fourth prop. But for me, Tom Harley's late step, just gets that momentum going a little bit better, puts the opposition in a bit of, in two minds. He tackled 100% again. So I just feel like there's more upside in him. But shit, I don't know. I don't want to get too critical of anyone because, like I said, I'm really proud of the effort to get back into that game. But what I really need now is for us to step up and smoke these Raiders. Yes, they've played bloody well in their first couple of games. Their opposition hasn't been great. Their spine's starting to click. Great kicking game from Fogarty. Outstanding bombs. Those torpedoes bombs are going to be a nightmare for bloody Tuel Picky, but he's pretty good under high ball. But I think those guys are sort of fighting it out for maybe 8-6. If we really want to step up and be a top 2 or top 4 team, we need to put on a clinic against these guys. It disappoints me it's not at Mount Smart. It is at home. It is sold out in Christchurch, but it won't be as vocal. It's not a cauldron like it is there at Mount Smart. But I really need the boys to step up and play clinical for 80 minutes. Stop these little brain explosions that other teams can exploit. I don't think they have the same level of class that will punish us as well as Hughes and Pappenhausen did, but there's plenty of guys that we've got to deal with there, like in Timoko and Tapane with his offloads and the like. So, time to put in the bloody hard yards this week, boys. I know you'll be disappointed. I know you'll be gutted. I know the bodies will be sore because that was confrontational. I don't know how many guys will have bruised faces after all those high shots, particularly from Kamikamitha. But I know the boys will be out there training already, going through those videos tomorrow. Up the mighty wires, I'm still in them. I'm still confident we can get this going. Someone said the other day that the Cowboys won their comp off the back of 3 losses to start the season. So, plenty of time to get back in this. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Don't go too hard on individuals. Guys, we lost this as a team. But, let me know what you liked. I'd like to, to hear your positives out of this. Onwards and upwards. Let's go, the Mighty Warriors.